I'm a little bit of rush. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Eagles Brawl of the Brawl Network, powered by Fanatics, Manscaped, and DraftKings. However you're listening, however you're tuned in right now, we greatly appreciate it. We will have our special guest here shortly. But as always, co-host Conor Myles, co-host Tyler Steege, and the host of Philly Sports with Giovanni Hamilton in the house. All right, I see the Zach Ertz jersey you broke out today.
Yeah.
Makes sense, right? Makes sense.
He's
He is back.
He's
And
back.
he has something to do with our special guest that's coming on to help us out. And talk. Ooh. Dakota's coming in with the heat already. Jordan Howard revenge game.
Let's go.
Oh, all right. So
It better not be.
I saw. I know my DraftKings pick needs it not to be, but when I saw that they gave Jordan Howard number 28, I was like, oh no, bad Jay reunion vibes. I don't like 28 for Jordan Howard. Let's give him a different number. I got some bad vibes off that number already.
Well, didn't they give him like 41 to start?
Yeah, I didn't want that.
Yeah.
That was rolled up. Yeah, I didn't want.
I'll take 28.
The last time the Eagles had a number 41 that was a contributor on their team, they won a Super Bowl. I don't think that's going to happen this year, but it did. Let's
just win a game.
Facts real quick.
Yeah, let's just win a game.
Let's just win a game.
I
Give
come
us
up
the
with
win.
the facts real quick. I gotta drop the facts.
Anyways, are we hoping for a win today? Like, is that how the fan base is feeling? Are we like, how are we feeling, Eagles fans? Do we want to win? Do we want to lose? What are we feeling?
Listen, I like good draft picks. We need high draft picks on this team to help us
That's where I'm
fix
at.
this mess. But I have never actively rooted for the Eagles to lose.
I
I've
haven't
never
either,
sat
man.
here and said, like, dude, let's lose this game. Let's go.
It's
Like,
tough.
Rodgers to drop 40 on us. I want us to do it. Look at this.
Everybody,
No.
man.
No.
Everybody. Yeah.
No.
Let's go.
Win.
Yeah.
Look,
Cheers.
I mean,
Yeah.
I can't sit back and say, "Yo, go out there and lose this game somehow, some way. Lose this game." No, not my forte. Anyways, so since Tyler went on Twitter last night and announced this, and everybody replied, obviously I can't say no or something like that. So
It's the
thanks
giving
to our
season.
affiliation. It is the giving season. So thanks for their affiliation with Fanatics. We will be giving away a jersey to a lucky commenter at the end of this show.
Woo.
We like to help everybody. Oh, dude, I almost thought this is what Dakota said for the jersey comment, and I was gonna laugh. I want Jamar Chase.
Just put it
I
in
think
an
he just
Eagles
literally wants
uniform,
Jamar Chase. But I
I
anyways,
wouldn't mind it.
I wouldn't mind more wide receiver talent on this team. You can never have enough wide receiver talent. There's no such thing. Look at Dallas. Those guys are gonna be a powerhouse.
They'll draft Jamar Chase and they'll still be in 12 personnel for 90% of the season next year.
No, so let's start the show off with that. Ian Rappaport's report about Pearson being on the hot seat. I think it's justified. I think I wonder if, and I would just love to be in the room, be a fly in the room, and just hear this because I think it's true. I think Jeffrey Lurie and Harry Roseman are so arrogant that they think that they made the Super Bowl team, that Doug is just a prop of it. That they think he's that movable, that much of a movable piece, that much of a person that you put the blame on and get rid of. Because he's gone to the playoffs ever since he's been a rookie head coach. I mean, he's won a Super Bowl with this team. He's the first coach in Eagles history to win a Super Bowl with this team after having coaches like Dick Vermeil and Andy Reid for so long. It was Doug Peterson, the guy we didn't expect. He has a statue out front of the stadium. I mean, I have to think, knowing what I know about Harry Roseman, knowing what I know about Jeffrey Lurie as an owner, they must think that they're so arrogant that they can make that they made Doug Peterson, that the strong staff around him did, that he's replaceable. But I mean, at the end of the day, I said it after that Seahawks game when it was 20-9 for the longest time against that secondary. I was like, I can't do this anymore. I saw Andy Reid when he was figured out in Philadelphia, when he was just completely done. I saw Chip Kelly when he was in Philadelphia, he was completely done. The writing was on the wall. It looks the same exact here. It looks the same exact situation here. It looks like the writing's on the wall. Now, I did bring up on an Eagles Brawl episode that I think you could pivot Doug Peterson into like a Mike Tomlin type coach where he's just a leader of men and that's it. He doesn't call plays. He doesn't do anything else. But I will say he has been refusing to give up play calling. He's been arrogant about giving up play calling. Now he's finally forced into a situation where he has to cut back on play calling I wonder if if these next couple of weeks where he has to sit back and not call all the plays makes him think that, you know what, maybe this is what I should be doing. Like maybe this is how it fixes it, it mends it. I don't know, man. I just think it's crazy. I think that if I was a fly on the wall, I would think that Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman are arrogant enough to think that they can make a next Super Bowl winning head coach, because I just feel like those guys have huge egos.
Is there a chance that it's not arrogance and they just don't think Doug is that good?
They must not. If you,
I mean,
can move on from Doug Peterson this easily, you must not think he's that good.
Well, I mean, go back to the initial hire though, and this is, and obviously a lot changes when you win the Super Bowl, but the initial hire, he came in to salvage the locker room. That was like the main reason, right? They needed to have that emotional attachment to this coach, and he was like the reason he was hired. It had nothing to do with play calling. We weren't sure. And he was almost known as like this guy that was going to come in for 2 or 3 years. There was a report that came out that Schwartz was going to be the head coach that kind of overtakes it. So you just wonder if the writing has always been on the wall for Doug. And because he had that success, the ownership in the front office were kind of like, maybe this is a little bit more successful than we anticipated. But now the struggles have been 3 years in a row. I don't know if it's arrogance. I do think that this front office and this roster, this culture, the locker room as well, has brought up the past and the success too much, and they've smelt themselves a little too much. But the writing is definitely on the wall for Doug. I don't know if it's arrogance from Lurie and maybe Roseman. I don't know. I don't know about that either. But I do think the writing's absolutely on the wall with Doug, though.
Yeah, I mean, for everybody in the comments, I understand the frustration that Howie Roseman want to get rid of him. They're not going to get rid of him, though. Jeffrey Lurie is not going to fire Howie Roseman. I feel like just talking about it is just venting our frustrations about something that's not going to happen. Giovanni.
And go ahead, Giovanni. I want you to, people are worried about your morale, man.
I want to hear about his take on it.
You know, after, I think it was last live show we did, I was like, get Doug out, but that's because it was after a bad game. But now I'm clear of all that, and I think we stick with him and just give him the help that he needs. Like we should be giving Carson the offensive line help that he needs.
And what's going on, Nick?
I'm just gonna sneak him in there like that. I like to be.
What's up, my guys?
So
better
so
late
Nick,
than sorry,
we're talking about what we're talking about right now is if we're talking about the reenactment report of getting rid of Doug Peterson, he's on the hot seat. Everybody in the comments obviously wants to get rid of Howie, but we're just talking about if we should get rid of Doug. And Giovanni's doesn't want to give up on him just quite yet, is what he's saying. But I mean, we understand the frustrations with it. What do you want to offer your comment on that? You want to offer your opinion? What do you think, man? You want to get rid of Doug too?
And by the way, good morning.
And good morning. Yeah. By the way, good morning.
He might be frozen.
Oh yeah, he might have just froze out. Oh no! Well,
I think I apologize. I think my Wi-Fi.
Oh, let's get the handsome comment in here.
Another handsome Ertz? Yeah, that's what I like to see.
Yes, I love it.
Oh, let's go.
I love it. That's amazing. Yeah, no, but
I can't keep up with all the comments right now, man. There's so many people that want to keep Doug.
While we're waiting
There's so many people in the comments that want to keep Doug.
Connor, you hit it perfectly, man. Expectations go a long way, and you said, I mean, the likelihood of Roseman actually getting canned is so like minimal. The quicker fans realize that, the less they'll be disappointed. And I'm not saying it won't happen, but the chances of it happening are slim to none, man.
There you go. Wherever you just went, you got the best.
Yes, yeah, you're not logged.
Yeah, now we're good.
I'm going. I'm moving.
See, so I know that.
All right, so can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine, bro.
All
right, Nick. All right. Give us your opinion, man. You know football just as well as everybody else. Do you think it's just an offensive coordinator the Eagles need, or is it really just the head coach is finally like worn out?
I when Tyler and I were talking, I actually kind of liked his approach in terms of like just tear it all down. I mean, like just avoid. I mean, that's just what I think. I mean, there's so many things wrong. I think you can point to, and because of that, it's not a one fix all situation here. I think everyone can agree with that. So. Whether it's just like, hearing the same message over, and you guys know how it is. Like when you're in class, for example, like you hear the same teacher tell you the same thing, or even your parents. Like at some point, it just the message doesn't stick. And if the message doesn't stick for Howie or for Doug or for whoever it might be, I don't think it's a one fix thing. I think a lot of these guys will get a job elsewhere right away. I just don't think it's very conducive of them all together anymore. That's the issue. It's just like as a whole, the parts are great, but I think as a whole, it's not working.
That kind of falls on your general manager. Your manager is supposed to kind of like oversee everything. It's not supposed to be the owner, right? Like the owner is not supposed to be too hands-on, and that's what makes me a little nervous. Is I like an owner kind of involving himself when he needs to be, but don't be a Jerry Jones. And there needs to be that fine line. And I'm just hoping that like these struggles, Roseman will let it work itself out and not be too hands-on on it. And when he needs to, he can overstep the boundaries.
So I completely agree with everybody in the comments. I can't post them all, but none of us in this thing want to keep Howie. I don't think, or at least want to keep Howie in the same role. We definitely want to change with that. I completely agree because I can't keep up. Because when I say that he's likely going to say, it's not something I personally want. It's not something I'm advocating for. But I mean, come on, he's Jeffrey Lurie's adopted son. You guys know this. He's been here with the team since 2000. Like, they're not getting rid of him. It's not happening.
He was literally brought back after being fired. Like, he's got a long leash.
Yes, exactly.
He's got a long leash.
I don't know what it is, but it's going to happen. All right, so I just saw a funny comment by Greg. Hey, Nick, hit that 12 personnel with Zach. I can see it. Nic Ertz, future Eagles tight end. There you go. The Ertz brothers teaming up on the Eagles. I would love that.
I'm good. I'm good right here.
How many coaches could recently be retained if there was a reshuffle? As long as they keep Jeff Stoutland, I'm good.
I don't want that. I saw people say like Deuce. I love Deuce, but like,
so, dude, have you seen all the Deuce comments? I can't keep up with that either. I'm sorry, man.
It goes back to the cleaning house thing. We don't want there to be certain things that are kept and certain things that are like brought in from the new regime. Like, just clear it and start new. That's what Carson needs the most. Like, he just needs to restart.
Yes. But Jeff Stoutland, though, I mean, come on.
I'm okay with Jeff. I'm okay with Jeff.
Jeff can stay. But Dakota says, Nick, on a scale of 1 to 10, how's my fantasy team name? My ball, Zach Ertz. Dakota, I love you, but I mean, that's a very common fantasy team name.
I'd say 5 years ago would have been great, but we've diluted the humor behind that one.
My guy put the fire emoji too. He thought he had something.
We love you, Dakota, but I mean that name is worn out a little bit. I want Eric behind me if there is change. Guys, I need them to step out of the Andy Reid shadow if they move on from Doug Peterson.
I'm okay with it. I'm okay with the enemy. I'm very okay with it. I think
he'll be a good coach, but I mean, I just want to step out of the Andy Reid shadow for once because he did. Joe Brady's my guy. Yeah, there you go. Joe Brady or Lincoln Riley, I'd be all on board for. Woohoo! Sign me up. I'm down with that. Never gonna happen, but I mean, Brian Dabble also. I like Brian Dabble from the Bills, the offensive coordinator. I think that's a good pick too.
So, Gio, I missed this. What do you think that should happen?
I think we need to keep Doug for another year and just give him an offensive coordinator and see how he does because it's just one bad year.
I think that's fair.
That is fair. It is fair. It's absolutely fair.
Let me ask you this, Gio. If the Eagles miss the playoffs this year, and I want the comment section to answer this too. If the Eagles miss the playoffs this year and they say, hey, we'll keep Doug and we'll hire a new OC. Well, what if that means you're missing out on a great mind for a head coach like a Joe Brady? or like a Bieniemy who won't take an offensive coordinating role, but they say, hey, I'll be your head coach. Like Joe Brady says, hey, I will come and be the head coach of or Lincoln Riley, something like that. Like, what if the Eagles are missing out on a great head coach opportunity because they give Doug one more year? That's my biggest worry.
Yeah, that is a good point. But it all depends on even if that does happen.
I hear you.
He's right. I mean, how long will it take for once you get used to a new coach? That's what I'm worried about. That's a fair worry, I think, at this point. I think you could worry about that because how he's looked this year. But that's not prohibiting me. That's not one of my reasons that's prohibiting me if I do move on. But I understand everybody's love for Doug. I do. I there's so many faults in this year of what's going wrong with this season. There's too many things you could just say. It's not just Doug Peterson. Like, I mean, I think, here's my theory. Doug Peterson's a 12 personnel offensive coach. We all know that by now. If you don't know that by now, you're insane. That's what he's comfortable with. Zach going down is a huge hole in this offense. That's the number one target. I mean, ever since Doug's got here, that's your number one target. Your offense has gone through Zach Ertz in the passing game, at least. So you're asking your head coach who's used to something, who's comfortable with something, and your quarterback also in the same predicament to completely change it up on the fly during a COVID-type season where you're not building enough rapport with your team. I think that does have to go into the thinking at the end of the year because you do have to sit there and wonder, am I getting rid of Doug too soon? Could we be missing out on something? And why I say that is because Doug Peterson's getting a job as soon as he gets fired from here, if he does. The New York Jets or the Houston Texans, I think, would line up first in line to hire Doug Peterson.
I don't. I mean, yeah, I don't know.
I mean, we can use the past players as an example of like sometimes you just need to change the scenery. And Nelson needed to change the scenery. Jordan Hicks was getting injured, and he was great. And Tyler and I touched on that. He was great when he was here, but he wasn't that healthy. But I think we're all not surprised that he's playing so well in Arizona. Camus looks good in Miami. I mean, so sometimes people just need a change. And I'm not sure it's unorthodox to think that this team might just – it's like the Falcons. Like they just kept banging the same drum thinking that it was going to change after they got to the Super Bowl. And that's not always the case. You got to make a change sooner than later. And I think it's somewhat time to focus on some firings and changing the scene of what's going on this team. Even if Zach's not here, like again, I'm not going to be as much of a fan and involved into watching this team, but I'm always going to be looking out from afar. And you know, you want what's best, and I don't know if having the same system right now in place is what's best. I just don't know where you point to that's going to be the most significant change.
Agreed.
And there's a big like possibility that injuries truly are the biggest issue, and there needs to be a blame. Like you need to blame somebody because this has been 3 years in a row, and you can't use that excuse 3 years in a row. But this team continues to get injured, and it derails the team. And we've seen them overcome it. So now we have this expectation as a fan base that says, why can't you overcome it again and again and again? And it's tough. And that's, I mean, think about how difficult that is for a head coach. Think about that, how difficult it is for a GM. I mean, you're the one finding talent, but if your talent's getting hurt, it's just like this. It's been a really crappy situation for the Eagles the last 3 years with injuries and in situation. It sucks.
So I agree. I mean, to this comment to an extent, because I don't think Jim Schwartz puts his corners in the best position to win every time. So I don't think Rasul and City seasons are that much of an anomaly. I think that does go towards Schwartz. So yeah, I do think coaching matters sometimes in these situations as well. I think it goes with both. I think this town can mentally kill players too, though. I definitely do. I think the city can mentally kill players, and that will affect on the field.
It has. It has.
Yeah, it has.
We have loads of proof. Loads.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it definitely matters. But if Doug goes once this is no matter what, Philadelphia is a popular destination for a head coach. The market is insane. It's every time I see this stuff, I'm like, dude, you attracted one of the most popular college coaches at the time to come to Philadelphia. I mean, you kept Andy Reid for 14 years. You're already telling your next head coach how much we believe in him and how much we're going to be with them. It's a popular destination no matter what. It's Philadelphia. Yes. completely does. Is that from the medical staff or the strength and conditioning coaches? I mean, I think it's a mix of both.
I mean, look at the entire league though this year. Everybody's banged up by injuries. I don't know if it's again, we scrutinize the situation we see the most. The GM of our favorite team, the head coach of our favorite team, the QB of our favorite team, the injuries, the medical staff. It's under much more scrutiny than we look at all the other situations. But I mean, go look at the Niners this year. They've been hurt like nuts this year. It just happens. Mm-hmm. And by the way, I'm not, and I want to say that injuries are not an excuse. It's not what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I don't want to say
not,
that.
No, I know. It's going to. You have to take it into account, though. You have to, because if you have a healthy Brandon Brooks, a healthy Lane Johnson out there, you can't tell me this offense doesn't look different. You can't tell me if Zach Ertz doesn't play his whole entire season, the offense doesn't look different. But I do agree. Next man up mentality. It's the NFL. That's how it works. I mean, you did win the Super Bowl with having all these injuries. So yeah, you cannot use it as an excuse. You can't go into this offseason. Doug can't be like, well, my guys were hurt. Like, no. That looked like a lame duck. Then you're a lame duck. I need to get rid of you. I mean, next man up. I understand where Jason's coming with that comment. Absolutely, though. I get what he's saying. And from just talking with like Ed and having Ed on the show and bringing his perspective to it, it is such an unorthodox season with how COVID's going on, and you can't have any contact with these players. I mean, Nick is probably the closest one to having contact with an NFL player because he's his brother. Like, that's how much crazy is going on. So I get it. I think it's hard for Carson Wentz in this offense to build camaraderie with so many new guys starting. Because back then, when they won the Super Bowl with all these injuries, you could still know these guys. You could still be in contact with these guys. You could still build a locker room chemistry with these guys. These guys have to go immediately to their hotel rooms. Like, you have to stay away from each other. It's social distancing. Like, I don't know. I don't know what Jeff Lurie's going to do. I understand putting Doug Pearson on the hot seat, absolutely. I think this offense has just been way too stale for too long, especially when you fire Mike Rowe this past offseason, and that's what you're thinking is going to be your improvement, and then you get worse. I mean, guys, you have to take that into account. Like, that has to be a thing. Doug, you were supposed to get better. We were supposed to do this stuff for you to get better. You told us you don't want an OC. You want full control play calling, so there's no more scapegoats. We got rid of those. You were supposed to be better, and you didn't. You got worse. So it has to be, consequences there. So I understand where everybody's coming from. There's two sides to both of it. So if they keep Doug Peterson, I'm fine with it. I want to see how they build around him. If they don't, I'm going to be a little excited because I want to see what that new system can bring to this team. I want to see what Carson Wentz can do in a new system. I want to see what this whole offense can do in a new system, these wide receivers especially.
It's not a good look when you refuse to hire an assistant or an offensive coordinator and your offense is looking the way it does this year. It's just not a good look, especially with the way the offense looked the last 2 years.
I don't think many wide receivers would be successful in Doug Peterson's offense.
Justin Jefferson wouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I think Justin Jefferson would be good, though. I think we got to take into account Rager's been injured. He hasn't really built that commodity with Wentz, and I just don't think they're using him flat out right. But they would not use Justin Jefferson right either. But I think Justin Jefferson would still be producing in some shape or form at least. Because I do think Justin Jefferson's a good player. But I do think Jalen Reagor's a great player. I think they're both great players, to be honest with you. I don't understand why we always have to.
Let's have some patience with this draft. Let's just have some patience with this draft.
I have some patience with Jalen Reagor. Have you seen this offense?
Yeah.
Are you guys watching this on Sunday? You already know what they're doing out there.
Eagle fans, we're doing this thing because the team's starting to lose. So now we're just like, when they're frustrated, they're like, I got to point blame somewhere. And now we're starting to attack this draft class. Reagor, the Hurts pick, Davion Taylor, these guys are getting criticized now. And it's like, they can't control where they were drafted. They can't control it. So Reagor has had a disappointing, quote unquote, rookie year. He's still getting open. Anybody who's watching tape, he's still getting open. Quit criticizing his talent. It's not his talent. It's a situation.
Right, and he's not a wide receiver one. I didn't think he was either. I thought he was a Z. I don't think you have to be a wide receiver one to play Z. I don't think Deshaun Jackson really was a wide receiver one when he was here either, to be honest with you. I thought he was a Z, and Macklin was a wide receiver one, if you want me to really ask my personal opinion. So
none of these doubts were here in April. Hindsight's always 2020.
I don't have doubts. I really watched
this.
Not even you.
I'm not saying you. I'm saying
I know. Yeah. No, I understand. But I'm just saying, like, how could you guys watch these fade shoulder passes to Jalen Reagor and think that offense is utilizing that talent correctly. How can you see these screen passes to Greg Ward and be like, yeah, they're putting Jalen Reagor in the right way. He's just not succeeding. Come on. Yes, exactly. Like Devontae Adams, for example, was not good his rookie year. People thought he was a bust immediately. People were off the Devontae Adams train because he was dropping passes from Aaron Rodgers and he didn't look good right away. Reggie Wayne, for example. Like, this "what have you done for me lately" mentality is weird to me because we're doing it to such young players that it's such an awful season. I mean, I don't know, man.
You
blows my
can't criticize the entire situation and then say, well, why isn't this guy succeeding? You have your answer. You just answered it.
Kirk Cousins is not lighting the world on fire or anything at all. But Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen are balling. But Carson Wentz is still playing at the lowest level of quarterback play this year, though. Like, I can't ignore that. It's the truth.
Can we talk about the game? I want to talk about the game.
Yeah. He was drafted.
Yeah, let's talk about the game.
I'm depressed.
Let's get into the game a little bit more. I have to. I have to get into the game a little bit more because we got to start hustling and bustling. So let's get into our Manscaped MVP picks. How about that?
All right.
Are you ready for that?
Yeah.
Y'all ready? All right, Giovanni. Let's go, baby. Go. Hold on real quick. Let me get to it. All right, go ahead. Go first. Lead it on, man. Who's your man?
My Manscaped MVP is Brandon Graham. And the reason for that is because I think he's going to have a game. I think he's going to be up in Aaron Rodgers' face. I'm ready to see it. And especially, I'm excited to see his mic'd up video after this game. Hopefully. I love seeing him trash talk. It's the best thing ever.
Yes. I love Brandon Graham's trash talk too, my friend. He's really good at that. Tyler, go ahead, man. Go ahead. I want to save Nick for last because Nick's the best for last.
I'm going with the better Ertz brother.
No.
I think that Ertz has a good game. I think that Carson needs a security blanket really, really bad right now.
Yes.
And I think that there's no better security blanket in the NFL than Zach Ertz. So, yeah, I think it's going to be to prove a point. Also, because Zach's going to be anxious to get back, I would assume. And the Packers really struggle against 12 personnel. So, I think the Eagles have a good matchup here.
I need Zach Ertz to go off for my mental health. I want to see. I need it. I need 2 touchdowns from Zach Ertz today. That'd be great. I'd love to see that happen. But I agree with you. I think go stick with what you know. You know, you're struggling right now. You're 361. You're trying to save your job. Go ahead. Go out there and stick with what you knew. Go back to the 12 personnel. Get comfortable again. Get your quarterback comfortable again. If you're not going to make the playoffs, at least get his mindset right at the end of the season so you could reset him.
That's hurting. Sorry.
I'm going with Fletcher Cox for my Manscaped MVP. I need a big game from Cox today. But no, the interior of the Packers O-line is completely vulnerable. I need Fletcher Cox to get after Aaron Rodgers, force some turnovers. I look at what is the great way to beat the Packers? It's to get Aaron Rodgers to turn the ball over. I look at the season when he played against the Buccaneers, and he was just flustered after they started forcing turnovers on him, getting him rattled. I want to see the Eagles defensive line dominate this game. I want to see Fletcher Cox, the leader of it, step out today. So he's going to be my Manscaped MVP. And the best for last, I found Nic Ertz. Who are you going with for your Manscaped MVP?
First, I'm going to say that all of these, I would love to touch on all of these, but I'm going to go with Rodney McLeod as the Manscaped MVP. The main reason for me is I actually think the Eagles would win this game. And if they do, I do think it's because of the pressure that's given from Fletcher Cox and Brandon Graham. And that Rodney McLeod will be the reason why there are a few turnovers. I think he will have a pick at least. I like what's so unfortunate about the situation this year is that we've kind of overshadowed the people that have actually played really well. And I don't think there's one game I've seen that Rodney McLeod disappointed me. I think every time I see him out there, he's like he is in the right spot every time, and he is the leader back there. And so I think if they do win, it will be because Rodney McLeod has a pick and plays well throughout. So
I got to appreciate anybody who recognizes Rodney McLeod, man.
Yeah, I always appreciate that. Yeah. That's a salute to that because Rodney McLeod's playing lights out this year.
for him, he's so good at playing single high, but still being able to be in the run game. And I don't think people understand how difficult that is. I mean, he's got such a responsibility in coverage, but for him to be able to play up to the line of scrimmage, he's been arguably the best defensive player for the Eagles this year. Him or Darius Slay, in my opinion.
I agree with that. I think Ronnie McLeod. I think one thing we were all worried about this offseason is they got rid of Malcolm Jenkins. What are they going to do? Ronnie McLeod has really stepped up and provided that role, to be honest with you, from the safety position. My DraftKings play of promo code Brawl on Manscaped for 20% off, free shipping. It's Christmas season. Get yourself some Manscaped.
We're company, man.
Yeah, come on. We're company. Brawl. BRAWL. So my DraftKings play of this game for the Eagles is Miles Sanders. I need Miles Sanders to go off against this Packers horrible run defense. I know everybody's talking about, come on, approach Green Bay the same way that you did last year. I think they actually might. I think Doug is the type of coach that says, I'm going to go with something that worked last time. I think that's the type of coach he is. So I think they will actually go out and run the ball. And
the things that don't work, he'll do it.
Yeah, I know. Hey, man, he's got to beat his former team. He's got to go into Lambeau and get a win against them. He loves to beat the Packers. So I think they will run the ball a lot. So I got Miles Sanders coming out for my DraftKings play of the game. He's only 6,700. Come on. It's a 30th ranked run defense. So it's Miles Sanders is my DraftKings play of the game. You go to DraftKings.com, dkng.co/brawlpod to sign up. Minimum deposit $5. We give you guys a free entry every week through the Brawl Network and our affiliation with DraftKings. Go on there, dkng.co/brawlpod to enter. So now I want to hear final score predictions. I'm excited to hear this because I was back and forth on this because I agreed with you guys too when you guys said earlier this week that this is a winnable game. I think the Eagles upset the Packers here. I think the Packers are beatable for sure. So I want to hear some picks. Let's start off with Giovanni. The guy, he's smiling over there. He's been waiting for this. So go ahead, man.
I already got my score prediction. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I'm going to say 31-27. Braves.
I would love that. I would love high scoring. I need some offensive explosion. I need something to get excited about. I need Carson Wentz to just go off, let that thing slang.
Yep.
The one matchup that's really scaring me today is Devontae Adams against Slay. Adams has played really, really well against Slay in his career, and Slay is the best corner the Eagles have had in a long time, but he does struggle against top receiver talent. We saw it with DK, and we're probably going to see it with Adams. I think the Packers win today. I don't like doing it. I'm going to go 30-24.
Okay. All right. So I'll give my next prediction. We'll let Nick close it out since he's a special guest. But I don't know what to expect from this team. I really don't know. I always want to get my hopes up. I feel like if I pick them, they lose, and I feel like if I pick them to lose, they win. So reverse psychology here. But I got the Packers winning 24-23 because I do think it's going to be a close game. I do think it's going to be a really close game. I think the Eagles will be up. They play up to their competition when it matters, when they need to. So I think they will. So I think it's going to be a close game, but hopefully the Eagles win. Obviously, I want the Eagles win.
Offense can't struggle against Rodgers. You're going to have to put up points. It's just the way it goes.
Yeah, or you're going to lose for sure. All right, Nick, what do you got?
Yeah, so I am with Giovanni, actually. I haven't been on the Eagles winning a game in quite some time, personally. But I have the Birds 31-24. I think the Packers are very beatable. I think we've seen that before. Mm-hmm. I personally don't think until the Packers, this is not a hint into the future, I don't think until the Packers get another real weapon out there next to Devontae, they're going to win or go far into the playoffs. I just don't. I think you can do a two-man. I think you can shade people over to Devontae's side in the playoffs. If you're in the playoffs, you probably have some good corners out there and some good safeties. So I don't think until they get another guy out there, they're going to be that great. So if they play them correctly, but Aaron Rodgers is hard to stop. If you minimize Aaron Rodgers, you can easily beat the Packers. They're nothing special outside of him and Devontae. And Aaron Jones is great, but we all know how running backs work. Unless you're a top 5, you're kind of replaceable nowadays.
Mhm.
So we'll
Eagles
see.
had to stop the run today. I know that sounds obvious, but if they can't make a team one-dimensional, they struggle. So stop the run first, and then, I mean, obviously it would be nice to stop the pass, but it's hard to do against Rodgers. But if you get Aaron Jones going and allow the play action and allow misdirection and all that, then the entire offense opens, and it'll be a long day.
All right,
Yeah.
so since Tyler announced it last night, I'm gonna let him pick because I think he actually has not picked who should win a jersey this on the Eagles Brawl yet. So I'm gonna let Tyler because he actually was in the comments and paying attention just probably more than I was. Tyler, who do you think in the comments who participated on the live show today should win a jersey from Eagles Brawl?
Ooh, buddy. Ooh, buddy.
Mama Shannon.
Mama Shannon. That was my pick, actually. I like that one.
Oh, I mean, hey, Tyler is picking. This is Tyler's decision, guys. Let Tyler pick. If it's who he wants, that's who he's picking. I mean, it's all Tyler.
Man. I mean, I think Mustaine was kind of like the guy that was most involved. He was the most involved.
I thought he was. I definitely think that's Jason. I think Jason was most involved.
Yeah. Has he ever won? Has he won before?
Don't believe so. No, I do not believe Jason has won any of our giveaways yet.
If he has not won before, if you guys are comfortable with it, I'm comfortable with
Man,
it.
this is your pick. This is your. We're gonna advocate for your pick.
Yeah, but I mean, I like open table conversations.
I'm a
Jason
guest,
was it-
so
Yeah, Jason
You're
was
not a
commenting a
guest.
lot. I did
You're
see
not
a
a guest.
lot.
This is your home. This is your home, brother. Yeah, let's rock with it. But he has to say sorry for disagreeing with me. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Yeah, let's rock with. Yeah, Jason gets the jersey, man.
All right, Jason, you can reach out to us on Eagles Brawl or my personal ad. Looks like you're going to be getting the jersey of your choice, man. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in to Eagles Brawl. I appreciate it. Nick, as always, man. You're like
yeah, I
our new
appreciate you guys
official
having me on.
co-host. You're the new official co-host, man. We love having you on.
All
All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. Giovanni, let's end it with your hype speech, baby. Let's go. Give you hype.
I'm ready for this game, man. I've been waiting. I want to see this win. I know that they're doing a few different things with flight calling, and time will tell if that works. I'm excited. I'm ready for this game. I'm sad it's not a 1 o'clock game. I want it to come.
Yes, completely agree. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week, and we'll talk all week on Eagles Brawl.